Hi everyone, back again. I'm Xanthi. Welcome to my channel, In Two Pieces. If you have been here before, you might have seen my July haul video where I mentioned that I had bought this Buffalo Charles Wysocki wooden puzzle. It's 500 pieces, and this is the one that I was most intrigued with because I have never done a wooden puzzle from Buffalo. I didn't know what to expect, and I stalked this I think on Amazon for quite some time. Buffalo Games is not easy to find in Australia. I get them from Amazon. It's pretty much the only way I can get them. And I have quite a few, and I have done this one. This is Frederick the Literate, and he pops up on quite a few items. I have him on I think a music box. I have him on a mat, and I have done the image on a regular cardboard Buffalo Games puzzle. So, but I love cats, I love books. This incorporates both. So I thought, well, it is time to check out what it's like. Now, when it was listed on Amazon, it had it, you could have it with whimsy shapes or without. Of course, I chose with because that's always much more interesting. And one of my pet hates, again, I'll say it all every time with wooden jigsaw puzzles, is I really don't like it when they include whimsies in shapes of things that have got nothing to do with the image. So for this, I was expecting obviously book shapes or anything related to cats. And judging from the back here, it looks like it does include relevant whimsies. There's a mouse there, and looks like a book maybe with a quill and a cat. So this is what I'm expecting. So I thought I shall open it, and we can have a look to see what it's like inside. So it is shrink wrapped. So I'm just going to carefully remove the shrink wrap. It's a very heavy puzzle. Let's get rid of all of that. Now let's see. Size-wise, it says it is 54 by 38 centimeters or 21.25 inches by 15 inches. So I am not good at, visualizing how big that is, but I think that's a decent size. So I shall, there's a bit of foam here on the edge there. I was wondering why, okay, if you can see it. The edge there, it is actually in the shape of a piece. Oh, oops. It's a drawer. All right, so it's like a handle and you pull it open. It's a drawer. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, let's pull this out. Right, all right. So it opens on one end, the other end is closed. Okay, was not expecting that. All the ones that I've done before, the whole lid at the top just opened up and you close it like that. So this is different and I kind of like it. And I'm looking at the pieces and they are really thick. So okay, so there is some whimsy pieces that I'm seeing straight away. And okay, what is this? Oh, it's the, the desiccant stuffs, do not eat. I thought it was a weird puzzle piece. Anyway, let's put that aside. Okay, so the pieces are actually very thick. I will put a picture up of the various whimsies that I find. Now, the actual shape of the pieces. Now, wooden puzzles, they change. Well, you get like your sort of standard cut sort of ones, then you get the ones with all the wonky pieces and stuff. So this is a challenging cut. And as you will see, again, I will put up some closer images. But basically what they are is all these swirly sort of pieces. And that's going to be hard. As for what the pieces look, they're quite a decent size, and they're nice and thick. The printing on the front looks really good. Again, I'll put up some images, some photographs of close-up so you can see. But so far it looks really good. The smell, I wish you could smell. It's definitely got a wooden smell to it. Some smell a bit smoky. This doesn't. I know some people don't like the smell of wooden jigsaw puzzles, but I quite like it. So it's it looks pretty good. So I think I'm going to have fun giving this a go. Oh, look, and there's another of those wonky pieces. I'm kidding. It's still the whole desiccate thing. I've never seen it in this sort of format, but anyway, there's a few there. And I am seeing a few whimsy pieces that look a little bit sort of random, a little bit random, not terribly random. But yeah, I'll not pass judgment yet on that. I can see at the bottom, actually, I might tip out these pieces because I want to see what's on the bottom of this box. Let's have a look. Okay, all right. So, interestingly enough, the bottom of the box is the sort of Hessian bag, which is drawstring. So it was interesting that they weren't in the bag, but they were on top of it folded. So anyway, there's that. And there is a poster. Let's see, let's have a look at the poster. Well, the poster's not very big, but I guess, is it bigger? Yes, it is bigger than the image on the box. So just a bit bigger. So there is that. So yeah, you can work off the poster instead. If you like, put it up on your stand and work off that if you like. Yes, it is Frederick the Literate. So yes, time to get stuck into puzzling. But yeah, all these pieces. Oh, it's a quality control slip in there as well. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. So I've done a bit of sorting and I've sorted out some edge pieces here, but I swear there must be more edge pieces than what I found. And it's quite possible that I've missed a few, but I'll soon discover them. I pulled this one out because I think there's quite a few false edges, and you can see if you look closely, it's not a straight line. So that I believe is not an edge, and there's quite a few in here that are like that look like might be an edge piece, but they're not. And I pulled out the whimsies, and there is quite a lot of whimsies, and the ones that I was expecting is the cat ones. Totally, of course, expecting that. I think this one's my favorite. He's all flaked out there. And then the bookish ones with a pen and a quill and an ink pot. I was expecting that. And there's quite a few owls. And in the original image, you will see there is an owl there. So that's to be expected. And you can see there's a quill there as well. And there's birds and a timepiece. So there is quite a few timepieces. There's some clocks there and a pocket watch. Again, stuff like a teapot and a teacup. That goes, with reading. And of course, some reading glasses, a vase, candle you'd expect. This cute little mouse. That was cute. And some love hearts. Yep. And it's curious here because it looks like it's a painter. And is that supposed to be Charles Wysocki? Maybe. I don't know what that is. That looks like a tripod for a camera, maybe. I have no idea what that is. That's a bit beyond me. And here we've got, another mouse, another owl, and some more love hearts as well, and more cats. There's quite a few birds as well. And there is a bird featured in the image, another mouse, and quite a few fish. And over here we have got just some random looking pieces that don't look like they're anything in particular, but I'm sure it all makes sense once I actually have this put together. So yeah, I'm rather looking forward to doing this, and I dare say there might be some more whimsies in amongst all of this as well. Well, I haven't gotten too far with the edges, and that's because I think I am missing quite a few. I did find some more in this big pile, and I actually found a few more whimsies as well. But I think what I'm going to have to do really is not keep rummaging. I think I'm going to have to do a proper sort here to sort all this out, because this is 500 pieces. That's considerable for a wooden puzzle. Most of the wooden puzzles I've done have been a lot smaller piece counts. So yes, I think I need to sort and get myself a little bit more organized so I can make a bit more progress than this. Okay, so I've done some more sorting. What we have here is a tray of mostly lettering. I find that I do like to start with lettering. I find it a bit easier. So there's a lot here. And over here, we've got a mixture. There's fur of the cat. These are all the extra, what I believe is the edge pieces that I found. This is parts of the book, I believe. That bits of the owl and the clock here. Now, while I was doing this sorting, I did discover this. And it looks like it's a piece that actually has snapped off, unfortunately. Can't see if I can get a good view of that, but anyway, that's unfortunate. So I'll put that aside, and I don't know if I can do a bit of a glue job on that. I'm not sure if it comes from that piece or somewhere else, but I guess I will find out. So what I'm left with is this tray here. I know I could have done some more sorting of this tray, but I think I've got enough here to get me started, and I think this is a way better approach than what I started with, just rummaging. I also did find a few extra whimsy pieces as well, and I think with this one I might actually do the whimsies as I go. I will just see how I feel. It's got a lot of whimsies, so I feel if I leave them to last like I usually do, it might make this very tricky because there's just so many of them. But yeah, I'll see how I feel about that. So this is where I'm at with my borders. And I think I had pulled out a few that were false edge pieces. I think possibly these ones are false edges. I've got a few other here that may be edges, but I haven't been able to place them. So lots of gaps still. Now that might mean that I still have some in my general pile that I haven't pulled out, or I've accidentally put them in the wrong sorting pile. One thing I did notice that I wasn't expecting was just here, there's this piece here that just abuts to the other one. It doesn't actually interlock, which, yeah, I find surprising, especially for an edge piece. So I actually prefer if it was all interlocking. But I think my next plan of attack would be just to work on the wording and get them in place, and then see where we go from there. Okay, so this is where I'm at. Still haven't done the whole border, and I've got some of the book titles happening. There's still lots of gaps though, and I got the clock done, but I am going to call it a day, a night, and then when I come back, I think I might try working on the owl and perhaps the book pages just in there, maybe even a bit of the cat. But yes, this is a slow process, doing everything nice and slow, and just take my time with it. So I have now finished my very first Buffalo Games wooden jigsaw puzzle, and I'll let you know what I thought of it. But before I get into that, I just looked up the artwork of Frederick the Literate to see what, the background to it was. Now, it's by Charles Wysocki, which I mentioned, and he's a very well-known, well-loved sort of folk art, Americana artist. And there is heaps of his artwork out there, especially on jigsaw puzzles. And I know some people are very, big fans, and they collect his artwork on whatever items that pop up. And I looked up for this one in particular because this one pops up a lot. It's very popular, Frederick the Literate. So I thought I'd read out what he actually said about this piece of artwork, and it is based on one of his cats, Frederick, and this is what he says. We're cat lovers, and this painting is dedicated to Frederick. He was one of our favourite cats, if not the favourite. Fred was Mr. Wonderful, but now he's in the library in the sky. Although we're all very dedicated and serious about our artwork, there is always time for humour, and I totally agree. As soon as we came up with the idea, we knew what we had to do. My wife Liz and I spent our breakfasts, lunches, and dinners thinking about the book titles for this painting, including Cat o' Nine Tails, Rat Holes of the World, and the Canterbury Tales. This is one of those cases when, after all these years of doing more subtle story humour, all my more obvious puns were piling up. They had to come out, and I'm glad they did, because it is such a lovely image. I really enjoyed it. Now, as for the puzzle itself, now if you go onto the Buffalo Games website, you can see that there is about a half a dozen of puzzles they offer in the wooden range, and they come in like the 500 pieces like this one was, but they're also available as 250 pieces, and some come with the option of with whimsies or without whimsies. So I opted for the whimsies version here. It appears that the version without the whimsies has like the standard cut of the other pieces, and you could see some of those sort of standard cuts like in some of the Wentworths. They're basically the sort of pieces you would expect maybe even in a cardboard puzzle. They're a bit more straightforward, less random. This one was extremely sort of squiggly. It's the only way I can describe it. So yeah, it's out of all the ones that they offered, considering the price, this was the only one that I was prepared to pay that price point to get, because they had like an underwater scene which with a turtle, I think, and that was nice. I was tempted by that one. There was landscapes and like succulents, what have you. And don't get me wrong, they're all really beautiful and I'd love to do them. But yeah, with the expense of them, to buy them like here in Australia, I just treated myself to the one. And so my thoughts on it was, the final image was beautiful. It was nice, clear printing. There wasn't any sort of blurriness. There was a lot of detail. I know a lot of people don't like fur. This has fur, but it's not really the dominant factor in this picture. You only see part of the cat in the image, and it's I was quite happy with the whimsies. The type of whimsies, yes, they pretty much fit the theme of the image, which was great. There wasn't too much randomness going on there, so points for that. And the size, it was a reasonably good size for a 500 piece wooden jigsaw puzzle. I was quite okay with that. Now, with the squiggly kind of pieces, I would say you would, if you're impatient or if you have dexterity problems, I would go for the more regular cut and not for this sort of squiggly cut, which is quite challenging. Now, when I had a look at the Buffalo website, they didn't really show the piece cut in their photographs that I could see anyway, of the 500 piece. I did see the ones of the 250s, and they look like the standard cut, but in the photograph that I saw for this higher piece count with the whimsies, they were showing off more the whimsy pieces rather than the rest of the pieces. So I didn't realize until I opened it how incredibly intricate and squiggly some of these pieces are. So that meant when I was putting it together, I had to be very careful, especially towards the end when you're just doing gaps and I had to really finesse some of these pieces in really carefully. My biggest problem, I mean, aside from, the fiddliness of, the difficult sort of design of the cut, was that unfortunately 2 of the pieces that I had in my copy were broken. And I'll just pop pictures up and you'll see that it was just basically, tips and curly ends and that were snapped. And then I ended up finding 3 sort of, little bits torn off. But honestly, I cannot find where the 3rd piece is. As far as I can tell, I could only find 2 pieces that obviously are broken. And you can see when you look at the complete image, you can see the gap. So that was incredibly disappointing. I know I didn't do it. I was extremely careful with these pieces because, they're fairly thick and sturdy, though not as thick as, like, say, a Wentworth and some of the really premium wooden brands. So, they weren't as expensive as those. So you do have to be a bit careful, and for the price that I paid, I am a bit disappointed. It came with 2 broken pieces. I will give them to my partner Marcus to see if he can glue them back together. It's a bit hit and miss because, once, if you don't quite get the glued bit on properly, it will not fit in. But it's worth a go. But apart from that, I did enjoy this puzzle. I did enjoy the wooden jigsaw puzzle experience. It's definitely a lot different to doing a cardboard one. So if you've never done a wooden puzzle, I'd say go for it. You might want to try a smaller piece count and the standard cut. This super squiggly difficult cut is not for beginners, I'd say. And if you don't have patience, then you could have snap pieces here and there, and you don't want that. But yeah, there's a lot of cute details with a lot of those punny titles that Charles Wysocki had mentioned there. So yes, I really enjoyed this one. I hope you enjoyed watching my process of doing it. I did do it at over several days and nights, so that's why you might see a bit of light change in some of my time lapses and things. And yeah, if you get an opportunity to grab one of these and give it a go, I say go for it. If you're in Australia, unfortunately, I think the only place you can find it is on Amazon Australia. I don't know if directly from Buffalo Games, their website, if they send to Australia, but I dare say that the shipping would be astronomical if they did. So one last thing is that, yep, and as for the packaging, I still can't get over the fact that it's this drawer and it's got this little puzzle handle and that. I absolutely love that feature. So yeah, top marks for that. So that is my review, and I hope you found it useful. And thanks for tuning in again. I do try to upload a video every Sunday, so 1 a week at this stage. And if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. You'll get notifications when when the other videos come up. Now, I do plan to review other brands of that do wooden puzzles because I really enjoy wooden puzzles. It's great to mix it up between doing these and doing your regular cardboard ones. So until next time, see ya.